So you have an entire generation growing up with lower self-esteem than
media
previous generations.
and our cell
right?
phones
Releases
through no fault of their own.
dopamine.
Through no fault
That's
of their
why
own.
when you get a text,
right?
they were dealt a
Feels
bad
good.
hand,
right?
So we've all had
now
it.
let's add in
down or feeling a
technology.
bit lonely.
We
so you
know
send out 10 texts to
that
10 friends.
engagement with social media and our cell phones,
because it feels good when you get a
chemical
response.
called dopamine.
Right? That's why when you get a text, right?
It's why we count the likes.
Right?
It's why
So,
we go
we've all
back
had it. Where you're
10
feeling a little bit
times
down or
to
feeling
see
a bit lonely.
and if it's going.
So you send out 10
my
texts to
Instagram
10
is growing
friends,
slower.
Did I do something wrong?
Did they like me anymore? Right?
Because it feels good when you get a response.
for young kids to
right?
be unfriended. Right? It's why we count
because
the
we know
likes.
when you
It's why
get it,
we
you
go
get a hit
back
of dopamine,
10
which
times
feels
to
good.
see if why we
And if
like
it's
it. It's why we
going-
keep
if
going
our
back. My Instagram is growing
Dopamine
slower.
is the
It's
exact
same
Did I
chemical
do something wrong
that makes
Did
us
I not
feel
like
good
me
anymore.
when we
Right?
smoke, when we
the
drink,
trauma for young kids
and when
to
we
be
get
unfriended.
In other
right?
words,
it's highly
because we know when you
highly
get it, you get a hit of dopamine, which feels
Right?
good.
It's why we like it. It's
We
why we keep
have
going back.
age restrictions on smoking,
Dopamine is the
gambling,
exact same
and,
chemical that makes us feel good when we
alcohol,
smoke, when
and
we
have
drink,
no age restrictions
and when we
on
gamble.
social media and cell phones.
In other words,
which is the equivalent
it's
of
highly,
opening up the
highly
liquor cabinet and
addictive.
saying to our teenagers,
Right?
"Hey, by the way, this adolescence thing that gets you
age
down."
restrictions
on smoking, gambling,
But that's basically what's happening. That's
we have
basically
no
what's
age
happening, right?
restrictions
That's
on
basically
social
what happened.
media
You have an
and cell
entire
phones, which is the
generation that has
equivalent of
access
opening
to
up
an
the
addictive,
liquor cabinet and saying
numbing
to our teenagers, "Hey,
by the way, this adolescence thing that gets you down,"
as they're going through the high stress of adolescence. Why
But
is this
that's
important?
basically what's happening.
Almost
that's basically
every
what's
alcoholic
happening, right? That's basically what
discovered
happened. You have an
alcohol when
entire
they were
generation
teenagers.
that has access to
When
an
we're very, very
addictive,
young, the only
numbing
approval we need is the approval
chemical
of our
called
parents.
dopamine through
And
social
as we
media
go
and
through
cell phones,
adolescence,
as they're
we
going
make
through the
this
high stress
transition where we
of
now need the
adolescence.
approval
Why
of
is
our
this important?
peers.
Almost
Very
every frustrating
alcoholic.
for our parents
Very
discovered
important
alcohol
for us
and
that
it allows
teenagers.
us to acculturate outside
When we're
of
very,
our
very
immediate
young, the
families
only
into
approval we
broader
need
tribe,
is the approval
right?
of our
It's a
parents.
highly, highly
And as we go through
stressful and
adolescence, we
anxious
make
period
this
of our lives.
transition
and
where
we're
we now
supposed
need
to
the
learn
approval of our
to rely
peers.
on our friends.
Very frustrating for our parents.
Some people,
very
quite by
important for
accident,
us
that
discover
allows us to
alcohol and
acculturate
numbing effects
outside of our
dopamine
immediate families
to help
into
them
the
cope
broader
with
tribe.
the stresses and
It's a
anxieties
highly,
of
highly stressful and
adolescence
anxious period of our lives.
Unfortunately,
and we're
that becomes
supposed to
hardwired in
learn
their brains and
to
for the rest of
rely
their lives
on our
when they
friends.
suffer significant stress.
Some
they will
people,
not
quite
turn
by
to a person,
accident,
they will
discover
turn
alcohol
to
and
the
numbing
bottle.
effects of dopamine,
Social stress,
to help them
financial
cope
stress, career
with
stress,
the
that's
stresses
pretty
and
much
anxieties
the primary
of
reasons why an alcoholic
adolescence.
drinks.
Unfortunately, that becomes
What's happening
hardwired in
is
their
because
brains,
we're
and for the rest of
allowing
their
unfettered
lives,
access
when they
to
suffer
these
significant stress, they will
dopamine-producing
not turn to a
devices
person, they will
and
turn
media
to the
Basically,
bottle.
it's becoming hardwired.
Social
And what we're
stress,
seeing is
financial
as they
stress,
grow
career
older,
stress, that's
they-
pretty much
too many
primary
kids
reasons why an alcoholic
don't
drinks,
know how to form
right?
deep, meaningful relationships.
What's happening is because we're
Their words, not
allowing
mine.
unfettered
They will
access
admit
to
that
many
these
of their friendships are
dopamine-producing devices
superficial.
and
They will
media
admit that
basically
their
it's becoming
friends that
hardwired,
they don't
and what we're seeing is
count
as
on
they
their
grow
friends, they
older,
don't rely on their friends.
they have fun with
Too
their
many
friends.
kids,
But
they
they
also
also
know
know
that
that
their
their
friends
friends
will
will
cancel
cancel
relationships.
something better comes along.
Their words,
Deep,
not mine.
meaningful relationships
They will
are not
admit
there
that
because
many
they
of their
never
friendships
practice
are
the skill
superficial.
set, and
They will
worse,
admit
they
that
don't have the
their
coping
friends
mechanisms
that they
to deal
don't
with stress.
count on
So
their
when
friends. They don't rely on
significant
their
stress
friends. They have
starts
fun
to
with
show up in their
their friends.
lives, they're
But
not
they
turning
also
to a
know that
person.
their friends will cancel
They're
on them
turning
when
to a
something
device.
better comes along.
They're turning
Deep,
to social
meaningful
media.
relationships are not there.
They're
because
turning
they
to these
never
things which
practice
offer
the skill
temporary
set.
relief.
And worse,
We know the
they
science
don't
is
have the
clear. We
coping
know
mechanisms to deal with
that people who
stress.
spend
So
more
when
time on Facebook suffer
significant
higher
stress
rates of
starts to
depression
show
than
up in
people
their
who spend less
lives,
time on
they're
Facebook.
not turning to a person.
Right?
These
They're
things
turning to a
balance.
device.
Alcohol is
They're
not
turning to
bad.
social
Too much
media.
alcohol is bad.
They're turning to
Gambling
these
is
things which
fun.
offer
Too much
temporary
gambling
relief.
is dangerous.
We know the science is
There's
clear.
nothing
We
wrong with
know
social
that
media and
people
cell
who spend
phones.
more time
It's
on
the
Facebook suffer
imbalance.
higher rates of depression than
Right?
people
If
who
you're
spend less
sitting
time on
at
Facebook.
dinner with your friends,
Right?
these things
And you're texting
balance.
somebody who's not
alcohol
there.
is not bad. Too much alcohol is bad. Gambling
That's a
is
problem.
fun. Too
That's an
much
addiction.
gambling is dangerous.
If you're sitting in a meeting,
there's nothing wrong with
people
social
you're
media
supposed
and
to be
cell
listening
phones.
to and
It's the
speaking, and you put your phone
imbalance.
on the table.
If you're sitting at dinner
face
with
up
your
or
friends,
face down, I don't care,
and you're texting somebody
that
who's
sends
not
a
there,
subconscious message to the room that you're just
that's a
not that
problem.
important to me.
That's an addiction, right?
If you're
That's
sitting
what
in a
happens.
meeting
and the fact
with
that you
people you're
cannot
supposed
put
to
it
be
away
listening
is
to and
because you
speaking,
are
and you put
addicted.
your phone on
Right?
the
If you
table,
wake up and you check your phone before
face up
you
or
say
face
good
down,
morning to
I
your
don't
girlfriend,
care,
boyfriend, or spouse,
that sends
you
a
have an
subconscious
addiction.
message to the room.
And like
you're not
all
just- you're
addiction,
just
in
not that
time
important
it'll
to me.
destroy relationships.
Right?
That's
It'll
what
cost
happens.
time,
and the
it'll
fact that
cost
you
money,
cannot put it
and it'll
away
make
is
your
because
life
you are
worse.
addicted.
Right?
If you wake up and you check
So
your
you
phone
have
before
a
you say
generation
good
growing up
morning
with
to
lower
your girlfriend,
self-esteem
boyfriend, or
that doesn't have the
spouse,
coping
you have an
mechanisms to deal with
addiction.
stress.
And like all addiction,
Right?
in
Now
time
you
it'll
add in the
destroy
sense of
relationships.
impatience.
It'll
Right? They've
cost
grown up in a world of
time,
instant
it'll cost
gratification.
money, and
You want to buy something,
you
you go on Amazon, it arrives the next day.
Right? You want to watch a
So
movie?
you have
Log
a
on and watch
generation
movie.
growing
You
up
don't
with
check
lower
the times.
self-esteem.
You want to watch a
that doesn't have the
TV
coping
show?
mechanisms to deal with
Binge. You don't even have to
stress.
wait week
Right?
to week to
Now
week.
you add in the sense
Right?
of impatience.
I know people who
Right?
skip
They've grown up in a
seasons
world of
just so they
instant
can binge
gratification.
at the end of
You
the
want to
season.
buy something, you go on
Right?
Amazon, it arrives the next day.
You want to watch a movie? Log on and watch a movie.
Instant
You don't check
gratification.
movie
You want to
times.
go on a date?
You want to watch a TV show?
You don't even have to
Binge.
learn
You don't even
how to
have
be like,
wait week to week to week. Right? I know people who skip seasons just so they can binge at the
You
end
don't
of the
even have to
season.
learn and practice
Right?
that skill. You don't have to be the uncomfortable one who says yes when you
Instant
mean no and says no
gratification.
when you
You
mean
wanna go
no,
on a
but
date?
yes when you don't even have to
Swipe right.
learn. how to be
Dang,
like,
I'm a stud.
right? You don't have to learn
The social
You don't
coping
even have to
mechanism,
learn and practice
right?
that skill. You don't
Everything
have to be
you
the
want, you can
uncomfortable
have
one who says
instantaneous.
yes when you mean no, and says no when you mean no, and yes when you
Instant
You don't have to
gratification.
swipe right.
Accept.
Bang, I'm a stud.
Job satisfaction, right? Strength of
You don't have to
relationship.
learn.
There ain't no app for that. The social
It
coping
is
mechanism.
slow,
right? Meandering.
Everything you want, you can have
messy
instantaneously.
processes.
Everything
And so I
you want.
keep meeting these
Instant
wonderful,
gratification.
fantastic,
Accept.
idealistic, hardworking,
Job
smart
satisfaction
kids. They've just
and
graduated
strength of
school.
relationships.
They're in their
There ain't
entry-level
no app
job.
for that.
I sit
They're
down with them and
slow,
I go, "How's it going?" They go,
meandering,
"I'm gonna
uncomfortable, messy
Why?
processes.
They're like,
and so I keep
"I'm not
meeting these
making an
wonderful,
impact."
fantastic,
I'm like, "You've been here 8
idealistic,
months.
hardworking,
smart kids that just graduated school.
It's as
They're
if
in
they're
their
standing at the foot of a
entry-level
mountain.
job. I sit down
and
with
they
them
have
and I
this
go, "How's it
abstract
going?"
concept
They go,
called
"I think I'm
impact
gonna
that they want to
quit."
have in the world.
I'm like, why? Which is the
I talk about things like trust and cooperation,
And we're already
there should
seeing
be no
the
demand
worst case
for my
scenario
work.
is we're seeing an increase in suicide
But the
rates.
fact of the matter
We're
is
seeing
there
an
is
increase in this
demand
generation.
for my
We're seeing
work,
an increase
which
in
means
accidental
that
deaths
there's an
due to drug
opportunity.
overdoses.
It
We're
means
seeing
that
more
trust
and
and
more kids
cooperation
drop out of
are
school or
not
take
yet
leaves of absence
standard
due
in
to
our organizations,
depression.
and yet they should be, and we
Unheard
know
of.
that, which is
These
why
are-
we're looking
this
for
is-
ways
this
to
is
bring those
really
things
bad.
to
The
our
best case
organizations.
scenario. The best. Those
So
are
I
all
thought I would
bad
do something a little
cases,
different
right?
today. You know,
The best
when you're
case scenario
speaking
is
to
you'll have
tens
an
of
entire
thousands of
population
people and
growing
you have
up
the
and going through
opportunity
life and
to
just
share a
never really
message, of
finding
course,
joy.
most rational people would say,
They'll never really find deep fulfillment in work or in life. They'll just waft through life, and it'll be just, it's fine. How's your job? It's fine. The same as yesterday. How's your relationship? It's fine. Like that's the best case scenario. Which leads me to the fourth point, which is environment. Which is we're taking this amazing group of young, fantastic kids who were just dealt a bad hand. It's no fault of their own. And we put them in corporate environments that care more about the numbers than they do about the kids. They care more about the short-term gains than the long-term life of this young human being. We care more about the year than the lifetime, right? And so we are putting them in corporate environments that aren't helping them build their confidence, that aren't helping them learn the skills of cooperation, that aren't helping them overcome the challenges of a digital world and finding more balance, that isn't helping them overcome the need to have instant gratification and teach them the joys and impact and the fulfillment you get from working hard on something for a long time that cannot be done in a month or even in a year. And so we're thrusting into them in corporate environments, and the worst part about it is they think it's them. They blame themselves. They think it's them who can't deal. And so it makes it all worse. It's not. I'm here to tell them it's not them. It's the corporations. It's the corporate environments. It's the total lack of good leadership in our world today that is making them feel the way they do. They were dealt a bad hand, and I hate to say it, but it's the company's responsibility. Sucks to be you. Like, we have no choice, right? This is what we got, and I wish that society and their parents did a better job. They didn't. So we're getting them in our companies, and we now have to pick up the slack. We have to work extra hard to figure out the ways that we build their competence. We have to work extra hard to find ways to teach them the social skills that they're missing out on. There should be no cell phones in conference rooms. None. Zero. And I don't mean the kind of like sitting outside waiting to text. I mean, like, when you're sitting and waiting for a meeting to start, this is what we all do. We all sit here and wait for the meeting to start. Meeting starting? Okay. And we start the meeting. No, that's not how relationships are formed. Remember we talked about it's the little things? Relationships are formed this way. We're waiting for a meeting to start and we go, how's your dad? I heard he was in the hospital. Oh, he's really good. Thanks for asking. He's actually at home now. Oh, I'm really glad. It was really amazing. I know, I was really scared for a while. That's how you form relationships. Hey, did you ever get that report done? Oh my God,